Grandma, tell us a story. Yeah, a scary one. Angelic was not new to strange energies of the world. Long back, she was saved from one herself. But her experience made her realize, with good around, obviously bad energies had their space too. Some were simply stuck in between. Their existence served no purpose. They wandered and wandered till someone finally noticed them. Such were the feet that showed up at Angelic's window one evening. Thick calves and dark and dirty nails floated outside the window of 10th floor. They were the dismembered remains. The blood stained at the top half said it all. Don't smash the glass, Angelic said, yawning and pulling the blanket over her head. The feet bent down slightly, as if embarrassed of being caught. The gray areas of life can bend on either side, children. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Only way to find out is to interact with it. Eyes barely open, she walked out of the bathroom, her mouth full of toothpaste. The floating feet had made themselves comfortable on her carpet. Angelic's apartment was always cold. Hence, basic supernatural cues were not enough to warn her. She almost tripped over the carpet. The feet shivered slightly, as if giggling at her. Annoyed, she stomped and asked, "You decided to settle in? Did you ask me?" The feet nodded to a no. "Then scooch, go away, find yourself a new place." The feet disappeared. Angelic felt a pinch of guilt, wondering if she'd hurt its feelings. "Feet don't have feelings," she muttered. That evening, Angelic found wet stains on her carpet, footprints that didn't belong to her. "Of course, you're back." Her eyes fell onto the kitchen counter, where the feet floated. They looked outside the window, and so she asked, "What do you want?" Seems like you're looking for shelter. The weather is unpredictable here." Over the next few days, Angelic simply bonded with it. She called them Tootsie, and they were always scouting the place, gliding through the walls, hovering over her head every now and then. It was no less than a pet cat, rushing into the room before her, standing at the window when she cooked. "What? Are you guarding me now?" Tootsie dipped slightly, a tiny bow. Great, great. Guardian feet." Tootsie curled up its toes, stiffened and squeezed together, almost trembling. Angelic could sense its anxiety, but it was just rumbling thunder to her. She would comfort it until she noticed the feet growing. Its height had increased. From calves, they were now knees with bloody rim. It bombarded a million questions in her mind, but she kept quiet and cooking. As the day went on, the feet followed her everywhere. Bedroom, living room, even when she opened the fridge, they'd float behind her like anxious balloons. Sometimes they bumped into the furniture. Hey, no flying into the table. My landlord will blame me. The feet curled inward, embarrassed. You really do have feelings. Aw, you poor thing. With labored breathing, she sat to fix the table. And the feet, they watched the ceiling like a dog, sensing her presence. That evening, Angelic watched old cartoons on the couch. The feet hovered near the wall, bumping into them. Angelic wasn't sure if Tootsie was excited or afraid. Relax. I'm not sure if you're excited or anxious, but just remember, nothing can hurt you here. Without realizing that the feet that once could glide through the walls were now bumping into them, as if trapped. The feet jerked sharply, toes tightening. They floated closer to her, trembling. They pointed at the ceiling, but Angelic looked away. Children, this would be the right time to tell you. Sometimes, even if you're right, your parents will not believe you. Tootsie was a child that Angelic didn't understand or believed in. Tootsie hovered right in front of the TV, blocking the cartoon characters completely. It wasn't playing anymore. It was pacing. A little shudder, a little drift, a little shudder again. Worry dripping down its dark skin like sweat. It let out a tiny, broken shriek. What now? Angelic sighed. Tootsie floated close enough for her to feel the heat pouring off it, then darted away. It trembled like a frightened child, trying to speak, but choking on its own fear. Only then Angelic noticed something wrong. The knees were no longer knees. Thick, heavy thighs had grown, bloated, bruised, and the color of old stormy clouds. Too big. Far too big for ankles that thin, she whispered. Before she could ask anything, a deep, slow exhale rolled across the ceiling. Frost spread across the windows in a spider web pattern. The room went so cold, Angelic saw her breath. She reached to touch Tootsie's toe to comfort it, and her skin hissed. Blisters bloomed instantly. Ouch! Tootsie? Sweetheart, is someone chasing you? Tootsie jerked sharply, toes kneading like it was trying to apologize. Angelic stepped back. A shadow grew in the corner of the room. A gust of wind slammed into the windows, and then silence. When Angelic looked again, just like that, Tootsie was gone. Only wet footprints remained on the walls, and the faint tapping at the window. The tapping continued, slow, deliberate, one finger at a time, tracing circles on the cold glass. Angelic froze, her heart thudding. The sound was hollow, deep, like it was coming from something impossibly large. Angelic's gaze darted around the apartment. The shadows seemed to stretch taller, curling along the walls like smoke. The tapping continued, now softer, lighter, almost like a rhythm. Not threatening, but impossible to ignore. Tootsie's footprint led to the window, and there, faint against the glass, Angelic could see the impression of a massive hand, too big for any human. The tip of its nails scraping lightly, leaving small, blackened streaks. Was it trying to warn me? Angelic whispered. But there was no answer. Only the wind howling outside. A long, tired howl like something circling the building. A sharp sound from top corner of the wall. Angelic turned. The crack crept forward slowly, crawling across the plaster like a snake searching for a way in. It slithered over the ceiling, widening, splitting, and growing until it was everywhere. Children, sometimes when something enters your home, it doesn't knock. It simply opens the world like a book. The entire roof tore apart, not blown, not broken, as if two hands had grabbed the edges of the ceiling and peeled it open. Cold rain spilled inside, dust filled her mouth, and through the hole, something enormous bent down, too big for a frame of any world you know. Its eyes glowed red, not brightening, not burning, but hollow, like two lanterns lit with anger. And its smile, a stretch too wide. It said,
"Got you."
Just that. 2 words, like it had finally found a name on a list. Angelic screamed and stumbled backwards. She pushed herself away. Debris fell all around her, splinter of wood slicing through the air like flying knives. Glass rained down in glittering sheets. But the worst part wasn't the destruction. It was what stood behind the creature. A hole, a rip, a doorway made of shifting black, swirling like the eye of the tornado. A portal. The entity leaned lower, its long fingers brushing the edge of the opening. Wind roared from the portal, hot, cold, both, neither, pulling everything toward it. The wind pulled harder, the portal grew darker. Angelic felt her grip slip. Just a little, just enough. And the creature leaned close enough for her to feel its breath on her cheek.
"Come home,"